the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I need you to do me a favor very quickly while you're coming on. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that share button. And I need you to tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know Ramonepreston, my squad, and the Ramonepreston Show. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is November the 14th, 2022. It is a Millionaire Monday. It is a marvelous Monday. It is a miraculous Monday. It is a motivational Monday, whatever you want to call it. Please hit that like button, hit that share button, tag somebody and let them know that we're live. And don't forget to put in the comments while you're coming on. Don't forget to put in the comments what city you're watching me from. Now, just in case this is your first time coming on the Ramonepreston Show, one of the reasons why I asked you to put in the comments what city you're watching me from is because we're grateful and we're fortunate to have people from so many different places watch the show. Many people who don't get to watch the show while we air it live at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, they always circle back around and they watch it. And I get people from all over that tell me that the show and that the information and content that we provide on a daily basis, that it is helping them, is changing and transforming their lives and their businesses and their finances. And so please, if you would be so kind, make sure that you give other people from other places an opportunity to see where you're watching from. So I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, and put in the comments what city you're watching us from, because today, this Millionaire Monday, November the 14th, I'm going to be talking to you about the 4 disciplines of the 1%. 4 disciplines of the 1%. All right? So please hit the like button, hit the share button, put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. We are getting ready to have an amazing discussion here on the Ramonepreston Show. Now, let me say this, whether it's your first time or it's your 10,000th time, I want to say welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. My name is Ramonepreston. I'm the host of this show, and every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I use this show as an opportunity to share information with you that can help you properly start, properly structure, and properly scale your business, your ministry, if you have a ministry, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. Now, I do preach the gospel. I am a preacher. I've been a preacher for 22 years, almost 23 years now. I've been a full-time preacher, committed to the gospel ministry, committed to the church, committed to the kingdom of God, and I still assume that role in the church, and I have many other roles that I play in the church. But I'm also a 20-year entrepreneur, and within the last 20 years as an entrepreneur, a full-time entrepreneur, by the way, which means that when I got fired from my last job in 2001, October of 2001, when I was fired from that was the last job I was fired from. When I got fired from my last job in October of 2001, that was over 20 years ago. That was 21 years ago, rather. I made the commitment to myself that I wasn't going to go back and I wasn't going to look back. And I'm not going to tell you it's been easy the last 20 plus years, 21 years really, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, but it's been worth it. And I've learned a lot in the last 21 years as an entrepreneur. There are so many principles that I practice. There's so many concepts and things that I have researched, I've learned, I've experimented with, and I've successfully navigated to form even myself. There's so many things that I put together, and that's why I'm so passionate about this show, because it gives me an opportunity every day to give you things that I know work, because there's a lot of information in the world, especially about business and finances, and some of the information works, some of the information don't. I mean, here, the truth is this. You can listen to me. You could take what I give to you, and it don't mean that it's going to work for you, because it's not just like one piece of information that's going to give you success. It ain't just one principle or one strategy or one solution or one idea. It's a combination of those things that you learn to bring together, and you create a formula that works for you. And so what I've done within the last 21 years in my entrepreneurial journey is I've taken the things that I know have worked, and I've tried to create as good of a formula as I can, and I've packaged it in the form of courses, in the form of programs and services that I provide to you and to my community to help you get to where you want to go. And so today, with that being said, I'm talking to you about the 4 disciplines of the 1%. The 4 disciplines of the 1%. Now, when you start studying people who are considered a part of the 1%, whether it's people who make $400,000 a year, which are at the bottom of the 1%, or people who make $40 billion a year, what you're going to realize is that there are many disciplines, there are many principles, there are many rules that these people who represent this 1%, that they live by, that the people in the 99 percentile don't live by. And so I wanted to just share at least 4 of these disciplines with you, because these are 4 that resonate with me. And every day I wake up, I try to figure out how can I integrate and implement certain disciplines in my life to keep my life moving forward, to keep my ministry moving forward, to keep my marriage moving forward, to keep my family, to keep my legacy, to keep my business in every area of my life moving forward. And so I think these 4 disciplines of the 1% will really help you. Now, when I say the 1%, what am I talking about? Well, right here, the 1% are people who make $400,000 or more a year. Now, if you Google the top 1% of American households, you might see different numbers. There are some numbers that say you need to make at least $500,000 a year to be a part of the 1%. There's some information that in studies and surveys that might show you need to make $600,000 a year. But I'm going by what I see as a general basis, because you can Google and you can find 100 different studies, 1,000 different surveys on what we consider the top 1%. Now, I created this diagram, and I've been talking about this because this is one of the courses that I teach in my Millionaire Blueprint. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about this, because you really got to get your mindset on where do you want to go financially? What kind of financial target should you set? You know, sometimes people don't even know what their financial target needs to be. I talk to people all the time and I ask them, so what's your financial target? Oh, how much money do you want to make in the next year? Well, I just want to get out of debt, or I just want to make enough money to be happy, or I just want to be able to take care of my family. But can you quantify that number? And so I use this diagram to not only help you quantify what your financial target should be, but to show you what your bare minimum needs to be and where you need to gauge in terms of how American households are set up. So again, out of 100% of American households, 29% are considered poor class if they make $32,000 or less. Now again, you can find so many studies and surveys that may differ. They may not agree with this, but this is just a general basis that you can use. Anybody that makes $32,000 or less categorically will be considered poor class. Now you might find some that say they're considered middle class, but it really ain't true. I'm telling you, if you're making that much or less a year, you're struggling, because the way things are going up in price, inflation is causing the demand for supplies and products and services. It's crazy. So $32,000 or less is poor class. That's 29% of American households. 70% of American households are considered middle. So they're either lower middle, 32 to 60, the middle of the middle, 60 to 110, upper middle, 110 to maybe, I put 400, but it could be maybe 300 or a little less than 400. But my point is, you've got 99% of households, 70 make up middle, 29 make up poor, and then you got 1% that make up upper class, millionaires, rich and wealthy, from 400,000 and up. So again, When I'm talking about these disciplines of the 1%, I'm talking about people that are in that green category. That's where your financial target should be. It don't matter how hard you think it is. It don't matter how impossible you might think it is. It don't matter how challenging you might think it is. I'm telling you, and people who are in this category will tell you, if you want to start seeing a difference in the quality of your life, if you want to start seeing a difference in what type of peace you got, and I'm not talking about like the peace that passes understanding. I'm just talking about financial peace. For some of you Christians and spiritual minded people, when you hear certain things, I know you start trying to make sense. Well, God give me peace. Yes, God give us peace. But there are certain natural things that you can do to help add to that peace that God gives you. A lot of times you don't have you can have the peace of God, but you ain't got financial peace. I mean, come on. We don't want to make sense of these, and we don't want to justify these natural financial or economic principles because we understand some spiritual things as well. So your target should be, if you ask me, Ramon, what should my financial target be every year? I will tell you that your financial target should be at least to get to $400,000 a year, to figure out how can you get to the 1%. And there are a lot of things that you got to do, way more than just the 4 disciplines I'm going to give you, but the 4 are going to at least help you understand that, wow, it's possible. And I know it's possible. You're listening to somebody who knows it's possible, because I grew up way below that red poverty line, way below. This is poor class, 32,000 or less. I grew up way at the bottom. I'm talking about the bottom of the bottom. So I know it's possible. So let's get into the 4 disciplines of the 1%. Okay. Number 1, the first discipline of the 1% is that the 1% are disciplined to become a student of the rich and the wealthy. Okay. So this is a discipline. This is a discipline of the 1%. People who are in that 1 percentile of American households who make $400,000 or more a year, they are disciplined to become students of the rich and of the wealthy. So they're students. So that means people who are in the 1%, I'm one of those. I study the rich and the wealthy. I've never talked to somebody, at least me personally, and maybe I have, I just hadn't paid attention to it, but I'll just say most of the people that I talk to who are a part of the 1%, who make $400,000 or more a year, most of these people are students, and they didn't start out as students. They became students. They became disciplined. They just got disciplined. They realized that, oh, the golden ticket for me to get to the financial next level, the golden ticket for my business to grow, the golden ticket for my church or my ministry or my nonprofit to grow, the golden ticket for me to grow in my career, the golden ticket is for me to become a student. And what am I studying? I'm not talking about just going back to college to get a certificate or to get extra credits or to get another degree. These people understand that they have to become disciplined in becoming students of the rich and the wealthy. So they study the rich and the wealthy. So let me show you. Let me show you this now. If you want to be in the 1%, and one of the disciplines of the 1% is that you have to become a student of the rich and the wealthy, then that means if you're getting financial information from people in this category, it's not going to work for you. If you're getting business education and business advice from people in this category, what you think gonna happen? See, I'm a witness of this. Excuse me. In my 20 years of being a full-time entrepreneur, my wife and I, we were surrounded by people in this category right here. Like everybody we was around was in this category right here. We might have had a couple people we hung around who was probably in this category right here. They might have been the upper middle class. You know, we may have had 1 or 2 people that we had a relationship with that was millionaires. at certain points in our entrepreneurial career. But most of the people that we had relationships with, that we talked to, that we went to meetings and conferences and networking events with, most of these people were right here. They were pretty much right in this area right here. They might have been making 30 grand a year. Some of them might have been making 60. But here's the thing. All of these people, and I say this respectfully, were middle class minded people. They were people in the middle. And they were typically educated people, degreed people with experience. They were corporate minded people. They worked in the labor force. They were good people. But even those who had businesses in this category, they really didn't understand the concepts and the principles and practices and the beliefs and the ideals of the rich and the wealthy. They didn't even understand how to become millionaires, and most of them never became. Many of them today are still stuck in this area. Many of them that I know personally, I might not have a relationship with a lot of them right now, but guess what? It is what it is. So I'm showing you as a one percenter, if that's a better way to say it, as a one percenter financially. This is not a religious thing, right? But as a one percenter financially, you need to get disciplined to become a student of the rich and the wealthy. You got to start studying. And I'm not just talking about people. I'm talking about corporations, entities, institutions, groups of business conglomerates. This ain't just about people. So when I say become a student of the rich and the wealthy, I'm not just talking about people. Because remember, when you start getting up here on the rich level, 10 million to 100 million and more, you ain't just dealing with a person. You're dealing with a person who might be representing a group or an institution or entities, conglomerates, funds, nations. That's what we have to start studying, because when you start studying the rich and the wealthy, what you start realizing is they operate on a different wavelength of thinking. Okay? So the first discipline of the 1% is that the 1% are disciplined to become students of the rich and the wealthy. Now I put this down here as the 3 P's. I put this here because I want you to understand some of the things that they're going to study. So the 3 P's is a good reference point for you, because what the 1% want to study is they want to study the patterns. They want to study the patterns, they want to study the principles, and they want to study the practices. So now when I become disciplined as a student of the rich and the wealthy, I'm looking at people, but I'm looking at their organizations, I'm looking at their operations, I'm looking at their teams, their staff, I'm looking at their systems, their processes, how they deal with global issues, how they deal with politics, how they operate as like literally tribes and nations within the nation that we live in. I want to look at their patterns. I want to look at their patterns. What are certain patterns that they have? Okay, this is really a good way to learn how to be mentored by someone and how to follow and how to really be led in order to grow. I want to look at their principles. What are certain values and views and consistent truths that they operate by that most people don't operate by? I want to look at their practices. What do they do on a day-to-day basis? What have they done? Like, there are certain companies you look at today, they've been doing the same thing for like 30, 40 years. You look at the Warren Buffetts of the world, you look at Berkshire Hathaway, you look at a lot of these major corporations, whether they are financial institutions, insurance companies, whether it can even be retail companies. When you look at a lot of these groups and these institutions, they have patterns, they have principles, and they have practices that they live by, and they don't move off it. They don't care if it's a recession, if it's a depression, if it's a pandemic. They just operate on a different level. Like notice when the pandemic hit in 2020, when the pandemic hit, notice how certain corporations started pivoting. Notice how certain corporations started moving. They started operating on a different level because they wanted to make sure that they adjusted to the times that they were in. There are a lot of companies that went out of business, but there are some companies that pivoted. Like, for example, a lot of fast food chains that are corporations, even Starbucks, even though you couldn't come inside their stores during COVID, what did they do? They shifted and switched up their delivery process. They had their drive-thrus banging and operating because they were already prepared for moments like this because they got certain patterns, principles, and practices, okay? Number two, the second discipline of the 1% is that the 1% are disciplined to live on less than what they make. This is a discipline. They live on less than what they make. Me and my wife, we go through these mathematical, numerical accounting, exercises like on a almost a daily basis, but definitely a weekly, and without a shadow of a doubt every month. So what I'm saying to you is every day, me and my wife, we looking at our numbers. We're taking account of where we are, how much money come in, how much money go out, how much money is left. Now, why are we doing that? One of the reasons why we're doing that, because we are disciplined to live on less than what we make. Because if my wife and I, let's say if we got a certain dollar amount coming in, and then we got more than that dollar amount going out, sometimes it may be like that some days. But because we monitor this, we monitor it on a day-to-day basis. So if we monitor it on a day-to-day basis, now if 2 or 3 days go by and it's like that, hold up, hold on, time out, wait a minute, what's happening? We finna check it, we finna stop it, we finna pivot, we finna look at something different because we stay on top of it. Because we understand that the 1%, they discipline. People who make $400,000 or more a year, like I don't know like where you at in life and I don't know who you around, but trust me, just to make $400,000 a year, just to be here, just to get to this point right here, just to get to the bottom of the 1%, just to get there. Do you understand what it takes just to make $400,000 a year? That's about what, $33,000 a month? Let me see how much that is. It's about 33 divided by 12. Yeah, that's $33K a month. So do you know like how much work it takes, how much creativity, how much commitment, how much marketing and selling and sacrificing, and how much discipline and how much pain? Like, you got to go through a lot just to make that a month to get $400K a year. It takes a lot. And that just puts you at the bottom of the 1%. But I'm telling you, it's possible. This is the second discipline that gets you there. You live on less than what you make. Well, I ain't making enough. Well, I ain't making enough, so I got to spend it all. That's what everybody tell me. That's the lame excuse everybody always say. Well, I ain't making enough. Here's the thing. You're saying you're not making enough money. So that means you have to live on every dollar you make, because you can't live on less than what you make because you're not making enough. So what kind of problem is that then? I'm asking you a question. Like, give me some feedback on here now. If you cannot live on less than what you make, if right now where you at financially, if you can't live on less than what you make, what is the problem? What is the problem? The problem is income, right? So that means in order for you to be able to live on less than what you make, yes, you can go down on your expenses. You can lower your expenses as much as you can. But at some point, you got to increase your income. At some point, you got to increase your income. Well, how am I going to increase my income? Do I get a second job? Well, maybe. Maybe you got to get a second job. What else can I do? You can get a side hustle. But in order for you to get a side hustle, you're probably going to have to learn a new skill. So a lot of people go to multi-level marketing. They become network marketers, or they start selling. You know, I give my people in my company an opportunity to sell and get commissions, because my wife and I, we built our business off commissions, especially in real estate. So we understand the concept of commissions. But let me tell you something. I don't care how nice a commission is. You got to work for that doggone commission. You got to still put in work. So that means you got to get better at selling. You got to get better at communicating. You got to get better at marketing. You got to get better at sending emails out. You got to get better at rejection. You got to get better at hearing no, 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 not interested, not right now, this ain't the right time, until you get a yeah. You got to get better at dealing with that, meaning that you got to get disciplined. So now you got to go back to the first discipline of educating yourself. Now you got to learn the ways that people make money so that you can start making money. But this is possible. Don't allow yourself to live in this excuse as if, oh, okay, I can't make no more money. Yes, you can make more money, but you're going to have to work your behind off. You're going to have to put more time in. And if you put more time into goofing off on social media, gossiping, talking to family and friends and people all day, and when you get off, you ain't doing nothing but watching TV and scrolling the internet. This is why you can't live on less than what you make, because you ain't putting yourself in a position to make more. So if you are in a position where you're able to make more money and you got some spread, get disciplined to live on less than what you make. And a part of living on less than what you make is really about developing a love for numbers and accounting. You got to develop a love for this. You really do. You got to develop a love for numbers. You got to start looking at life through like a mathematical lens. You got to start, and I'm just talking to those of you who really want to get to the next level financially. If you want to be broke and you want to struggle, I ain't talking to you. But if you sick and tired of that crap and you ready to go to the next level financially, in your business, in your ministry, your nonprofit, in your career, on your whatever it is that you're doing, if you want to get to some type of financial freedom, I'm telling you, you need to develop a love for numbers, and you got to start looking at life through the lens of math. You almost got to become a human calculator, because you got to start doing the math and counting up the costs and calculating everything that you're doing. Because everything you're doing is costing money. And watch this, everything you ain't doing is costing you money. And for most people, what you ain't doing, in my ghetto voice, what you ain't doing is costing you more money than probably what you're doing. So that means discipline number 2. Live on less than what you make and develop a love for numbers. Develop a love for numbers. Develop a love for accounting. Well, Ramon, what you mean I need to develop a love for numbers? Do you see what I just did when I was thinking about $400,000 a year? I pulled out my calculator, because I thought, oh, okay, in order to make $400K a year, I pulled out my calculator and I did the math. My mind always goes straight to math, because I want to make sense of this thing mathematically. And I realized, oh, in order to make $400K a year, I got to make $33K a month. Now, if I want to make $33K a month, how much is that a week? That's $8,250 a week. $8,250 a week. So when I see that number, I know it's possible. I know it's hard now. It feels impossible, but I also know if I'm wasting my weeks, and I break that joker down in a day, that's what I like to do. So let's say $1,200 a day, $1,200 a day. So if you just broke the math down right here and said, you know what, I want to get like what Ramon said, and I want to become a part of the 1%. I want to at least have a financial target for 1 year to make 400 grand. when you start developing a love for numbers and accounting, the first thing you're going to do is, man, how much is that a month? 33 grand. Wow. How much is that a week? 82.50. Wow. How much is that a day? $1,200 a day. Now, when I see that number, the first thing I think is, oh, I ain't got 2 days off. I can't take 2 days off because I need them 2 days to figure out how I can make $1,200. I'm not going to waste my days. Because see, when you start seeing numbers, it changes how you move forward. Okay, discipline number 3. The 1% are disciplined, this is a big one, y'all, to delay gratification and stick to the one thing. This is probably one of the hardest disciplines. I think this discipline might be harder than the second discipline. This is a hard discipline. Discipline number 3. Discipline number 3 is probably harder than discipline number 2. The 1%, people who make $400,000 or more a year typically are disciplined to delay. That's the key word. Delay gratification. Delay gratification. So what that means is they don't mind driving an old car until they can get a new car. They don't mind living in a smaller house until they can get a bigger house. They don't mind wearing the same clothes until they can get better clothes. They don't mind missing out on certain things that are going on with family and friends because they committed to their dreams. They're committed to hitting their targets. So in order for you to get there and stay there, at some point you're going to have to get disciplined at delaying gratification. I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day, and I was telling her, like, you know, get your mind, don't have your mind on the next 3 months. Have your mind on the next 3 years. Don't just look at what can I accomplish in 3 months, because most likely most of the stuff you want to accomplish in 3 months, you probably can't accomplish because we got big dreams, right? But if you put a 3-year plan together, now you probably won't blow out in 3 months. And most of us are like that. See, I like to have short-term goals, but I also like to have long-term goals. So I got goals that I read every day in my phone that I write down, I type in, and I go over them. And some of these goals are like 15 years out. But when I see them goals, they get me motivated. I feel a little like, oh my God, overwhelmed, because I'm like, man, I got to get there in 15 years. But I'm able to come back to the day and not be so distressed and disappointed because I get a loss or I don't get an opportunity or certain things don't happen right now, because I understand it's a long game. So the 1% have to get disciplined to, number 1, delay gratification. Now, here's the thing. I want you to catch this, okay? So you delay gratification, right? But then you learn to stick to the one thing. Both of these work together, because when you're able to delay gratification, for example, if you're able to say, okay, it's 2022, there are certain things that I'm starting to do now I might not accomplish until 2025. Let's say if it's certain things you want to accomplish, but you give yourself 3 years to do it. Okay, you say, I'm gonna put a plan together for 2025 to do this. That it may be a plan for you to make $400,000 a year. That you might need 3 years to put a plan together. But if you put a 3-year plan together, let's say to make 400 grand a year, in that 3 years, what are you going to be doing? Well, I got to study, I got to grow, I got to learn, I got to get mentored, I got to get around the right people, I got to let some people go, I got to work on my health, my credit, I got to switch careers, I might need to move to another city to get around people who are progressing and thriving. So it's a lot of things that got to happen. You can't do that in 3 months and think, oh, in a year, I'm going to crush it and make 400K, when the truth is, I got so many other things I got to do the first 6 months of the year. I might not even get started until 9 months in. But if you give yourself time and you delay gratification, it gives you the strength to stick to the one thing. So what do you mean by sticking to the one thing? You got to find something that works and stick to it. See, I consult and I coach a lot of entrepreneurs who jump around every 3 months. The moment something ain't working, they own to something else. I mean, literally, I talk to entrepreneurs all the time who, like it's November right now. I've talked to entrepreneurs, I've talked to some of the same entrepreneurs 3 or 4 times this year, and they done jumped from 6 different things since January. So they started here in January, then by March they over here, then by June they here, and then by August they over here, and then October they here, and then November they back over here, and they wonder why they not making no money. You know why you not making no money? Because you're not even delaying gratification. And sometimes the gratification is for you to get a quick win, for you to see success and for you to see results. You got to delay that sometimes. Delaying gratification ain't just about you delaying gratification to go buy some clothes or to go wild out for 2 days on the island somewhere. That ain't always the delay of gratification. Sometimes the delay of gratification is you not seeing gratification from the results of the work you putting in, because you realize I might need to work at this for 3 years until I find the right thing. But while I'm doing that, I got to find the one thing. You get what I'm saying? Me and my wife used to always be like that. When my wife and I, we started our entrepreneurial journey 20 years ago, the one thing for us was real estate. This was our one thing, real estate. And I'm not talking about real estate investing. Okay, so I'm not talking about real estate investing. That's not what my wife and I started doing. My wife was a licensed agent, she still is, and I was the handyman. I know my way around the house, and we said we're gonna stick to this one thing. We're gonna make this thing work. And from here, we're gonna start going into other things. And everything me and my wife are doing right now, we do a lot of stuff in business, different things that we got going on. But let me tell you something, all those things were built, they were built on the basis, they blossomed from the one thing that we call real estate. Now, I don't know what your one thing is, but don't be jumping all around, because if you jumping all around with ideas and you ain't never sticking to one thing until it makes enough money for you to do the second thing. That's what I'm saying. My wife and I, we made a decision and a commitment. We got to make money in real estate first. Once we start making money in real estate, then we can go into, okay, this. Then we can do that. Even what I'm doing right now in our coaching division. Just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we launched our coaching division. 3 years ago, we launched our educational division. So what we've been doing the last 2-3 years, but we've been entrepreneurs for 20. What were we doing the first 17 years? We were consulting, and most of our consulting services were all centered around real estate. And it wasn't our own it wasn't real estate we owned. It was real estate everybody else owned. We was helping investors. We've worked with developers, associations, landlords, small portfolios, groups of investors who had LLCs and needed some structure and some organization and some management. That's what we were doing with other people's real estate, not our own. But we stuck to the one thing. And then once we got it to where, okay, we can make money, we can pay our bills, we can put a little money up, we can invest into the future, then we started, okay, now we can start pushing money towards building out a coaching division and an educational division and creating a digital platform and making products and services, because we knew in order for us to start branching off into these other things, we got to have some money, because we're going to lose if we don't have money, because we're going into uncharted territory. But we have been able to, the last 2-3 years, weather any storms moving into new divisions of business, because we stuck to what? The one thing. That's number 3. Number 4, here's my last one. Number 4, The fourth discipline of the 1% is that the 1% are disciplined to leverage business and financial structures, systems, processes, and people. I want you to understand that. So people who live in that 1%, people who make that kind of money every year, they are like literally, these people are masters of leverage. Masters of leverage. Masters of leverage. Now, I'm going to tell you where some of you messing up at, especially if you're just starting your business. You messing up because you just trying to leverage credit. You just trying to leverage credit. You just trying to leverage loans. Because this is where most business owners and small entrepreneurs are. All they trying to leverage is credit and loans, right? But what you're not understanding is, even if you cannot leverage these two things because you don't have credibility, you don't have a history, no one trusts you to give you money or to give you a credit card. That happens to most businesses. We got 32 million businesses in the United States of America. Most of these businesses don't even make money. Like most businesses today don't even make money. Like the proof is in the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Most businesses today don't make money. And the few businesses that you see making money, some of them ain't really making real money. It's another form of income that they're pushing over to their business, whether it's from their job or another business that's making money. Most businesses don't make money. So my point to you is, don't be focusing on leveraging credit and loans. That ain't where all your focus should be at. Learn to leverage business and financial structures. This is why I talk about having a holding company and structuring your business right the first time, and stop flip-flopping. So you don't need 22 LLCs unless they're all under one LLC as a holding company, and you know how to manage this holding company and run the day-to-day operations of it. If you don't, what you need to be leveraging is some education. That's where you leverage people at. You need to leverage people. So that means you got to get around people. I'm telling you, one of the biggest mistakes I made, was I did not get around mentors and coaches early enough. I don't know what I was thinking about. And the crazy thing is, I'm a risk taker. But it just didn't dawn on me for some reason. It took me a while to figure out that, oh wow, I can pay someone and I can learn what they know. And I can get them to help me do what I want to do. I don't know what I was thinking about. And I honestly, sincerely mean this when I say this. It's not like I wouldn't have done it. It's just that it wasn't like clear to me. I didn't understand that concept as clear as I should have, especially not 20 years ago. But up until just a few years ago, I really didn't understand the concept of coaching. And I know the internet has made it more accessible, seeing people and getting an opportunity to know people and trust them and not have to mail stuff and wait for stuff to come in the mail. It's a different world. So the last couple of years, it's been easier to understand the concept of, oh, I have a coach. They can coach me. They can help me. But back when my wife and I, back when we started even 20 years ago, we've been to seminars and, the little one-day seminars you go to, and you might pay $200 to go. And then when you get there, by the end, they selling you a $997 program or a $2,000 program, and you buy it, and then they offer you another $12,000 program. My wife and I, we've been a part of those types of things. We've spent money on those things. She was following me everywhere. So I've been to all these little real estate summits and real estate conventions and real estate seminars, and we've signed up for the boot camps, and you know what I mean? But they were really not coaching programs. It wasn't really like you was getting a mentor. Most of these events that we went to, the person who you saw on TV or on an ad wasn't even showing up, right? but I'm bringing that up for a reason. You got to learn to leverage people, and you got to be okay paying to leverage people. I'm telling you, like what I have been able to accomplish just within the last 3 years, what I've been able to accomplish, I promise you, I have done more in the last 3 years than I did in the first 17. I promise you I have. And one of the reasons why is because I leveraged people. I just decided that I'm going to take this money, I'm going to pay people to show me how to do what I just don't know how to do. And I paid, I learned, and I'm like, oh my God. And I accelerated. Okay, so the 1% know how to leverage structures. Okay, so you got to have the right structure. This is why I teach on the holding company. You got to have your structure right. Because if you ain't got your business structured right, especially if you got multiple businesses or multiple business ideas, you're going to get confused and it's going to slow your progress down. You want to leverage systems. And when I say systems, what am I talking about? I'm talking about like sales systems. You got to learn to leverage sales systems, marketing systems, financial systems, operational systems. Why? Because you want to make doing business easy. You want to make the idea of making money easy in terms of infrastructure and technology and platforms. It's already hard enough to try to make money without this stuff. I'm telling you, when you get this stuff, it just makes everything easy. And you want to learn and leverage processes. You want to leverage these processes because there are certain steps that you can take in the day-to-day operations of your business that can get you quicker up that road. Now, one of the reasons why this final discipline is so important is because I'm giving you access to training and education. I don't know how much you know about me. I don't know how much research you've done on me. I mean, I encourage you to Google me. I encourage you to go to my website, go to my university platform, and just take a look for yourself at the courses, the reviews, look at the programs and the services that we have so that you can understand the type of education and training you need when it comes to your business and your finances. It's different education you need. My specialty is in helping people start and structure the right entities, integrate the right systems and processes, and implement the right practices so that you can take your ideas, turn them into products and services, go into the marketplace, and start making money. That's what I teach. That's where I become a specialist at, because I like for people to have their structure set up correctly. I like for you to have a holding company, divisions, subsidiaries. I want you to have that totally together. I want you to take your ideas and turn them into products and services so that you can bring them into your business. I want you to have systems for your marketing of those products and services, systems for how you sell them so that when people start responding, you have a system. I want you to have processes for these things so that when you start getting help, you know how to navigate people through your ecosystem. And I want you to have people. I want you to have people like me. I want you to have me and my team working with you. And so just in case you are looking for help in your business because you feel like you're at a stuck, just in case you are searching the internet and you ran across this video, or maybe you've been watching me for a while and you're like, man, I'm scared to pull the trigger because I don't trust you internet gurus, and a lot of people selling online courses and they don't work and they don't mean nothing. Well, as I said, you can Google me, you can look at my Google reviews, you can go to my website. I'll make it even easier for you. How about just reach out to me? Whether you text this number or not, why don't you just call me? But if you're sure enough to be able to start moving forward for yourself, I have a special offer that I want to extend to you. This offer is I'm giving you access to 2 of my signature courses for $197. Now again, I have a Millionaire Blueprint. It's an online business and financial training program. We give our students and clients 1 year access to it. hundreds of videos on how to start and structure holding companies, financial literacy, creative tax strategies. We've got courses on sales. We have sample scripts for you for your sales. We teach you the basics of marketing to show you how to get attention and make conversions. We teach you financial systems and processes. We teach you operations. We show you how to put an organizational flow chart together for you as the CEO and for your potential staff members, because we want you to have an organization that's well-oiled and that's working together. Because again, after 20 years of doing it, I know if I knew this stuff 20 years ago, I'd probably be a billionaire right now. But I didn't know it 20 years ago. It took me a long time to figure these things out. And once I got them figured out, I made sure that I package them and put them together in a way to make it easy for you. So even if you just have questions, maybe you don't want to buy nothing, maybe you just need to speak to me and my team to get an idea of what do you need for where you are in your business, or are you on track with what you have going on right now? I would love to be that resource for you, to be that P of people, so that you can know that there are people out there that really support you, believe in you, and want to help you get to your next level. So all you have to do is text the word offer. Text this word, because when you text this word, my team and I, we know you watched the video, okay? So a lot of times we get people reaching out to us, but we don't know where you came from until we ask you. But when you text certain words that I give on my live show, I know what you've watched and I know what you might be looking for information on, and it just makes it easier for us to communicate with you. So you can text offer to this number if you would like to know more about our 2-course offer for $197. These 2 courses that we're giving you access to is on holding companies, creative tax strategies. And it's really a part of a campaign for a free web class that I'm going to be hosting in 2 weeks. I'm going to be doing a 2-hour deep dive, because I want every entrepreneur that I come into contact with to end this year strong. And I don't want you to go into 2023 with tax issues because you really didn't have strategies for how you needed to put it together. You didn't even know where to start. I want to help you either mitigate it or eliminate it altogether. And so if you want to take me up on that offer, or if you just have questions, you can text offer to this number or just call this number. We're here at the office. I'll be more than happy to answer whatever the questions are that you have. So my hope and expectation is that today's show on the 4 disciplines of the 1%, my hope and expectation is that they brought value to you. There's something that you learned within this hour. There's something that you can take and you can apply to your personal life, your business, your ministry, your family, or whatever area of life that you're working on. And please, if you would be so kind, could you do me a favor? Could you put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's show? Please let me know what that biggest takeaway is. All you have to do is put it in the comments. Just let me know what your biggest takeaway was or is from today's show. Just let me know. It could just be one thing you heard and you're like, oh my God, that was big. I really caught that. Okay? I want you to put that big takeaway in the comments. So let's go through all 4 one more time before we go. The 4 disciplines of the 1%. Number 1, they are disciplined to become students of the rich and the wealthy. Number 2, they are disciplined to live on less than what they make. Number 3, they are disciplined to delay gratification and stick to the one thing that they know can make them some money. And number 4, they are disciplined to leverage any and all business and financial structures, systems, processes, and people, just like Ramonepreston. And that's what you should be doing. You should be thinking like the 1%. Even if you are not in the 1%. You could be in the 70% middle class. You could be in the 29% poor class. But it don't mean you can't think like the 1%. It don't mean you can't leverage people who are in the 1%. You can. Think about it. You can text offer to this number. You can call and reach out to me, and we can have a conversation on the phone. And what are you doing? You're leveraging people who are in the 1%. That's what you're supposed to do. I wish I understood this stuff when I first got started. But again, 20 years ago, we didn't have the technology we got now. So by the time technology started coming around, I was so deep in trying to keep my business afloat, and I was building churches and ministries, and I had community outreach programs, and I had food banks. I had youth programs. I was doing so much when technology hit. I wasn't thinking about that stuff because I was committed, especially to ministry, but I was also committed to business as well. And so now, just within the last few years, honestly, I could say just within the last 3 years, since I hit the reset button in my own life and I started leveraging people and structures and systems and processes, and really just started investing more money into myself and into bringing the right people into my life, it's just changed everything for me. It's literally like turned my whole life around, because what I've accomplished just in the last 3 years, it's more than what I accomplished in the first 17 years of my 20 years as an entrepreneur. And I want you to have that accelerated experience as well. And you can, but you, not me. I can't call you. I ain't got your number. I can't reach through the camera and grab you and say, come on, let's get you going. You got to be willing and ready to reach out to me. So text offer or just call the number and we'll speak with you. Any questions you have, we'll answer those questions and we'll give you as much direction as we can to help you get to the next level. So today is Monday, November the 14th. It's Millionaire Monday, which, by the way, if you are a member of our Millionaire Mentorship Program, our 1-year coaching program, every Monday, like today, we host a coaching call every week at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're a part of our mentorship program, I look forward to seeing you tonight. Bring your pens, your notepads, bring your questions, bring an open mind. We're going to have a real good discussion, and it ain't going to be this. It's going to be something else, and you're going to really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to sharing these things with you because I'm helping my mentees who are millionaires in the making. I'm helping them in 2022 strong. If you ain't a part of that Millionaire Mentorship Program and you want to be a part of a group of future Blueprint millionaires, you better text offer to me and let me and my team know. I want to get in on that coaching call tonight. I want to have a one-on-one with Ramonepreston. I want to take my business to the 1%, and I know I can do it because I see he's done it and he's helping people do it as well. So I love and appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow right here, 12:00 noon Eastern Standard Time on the Ramon Preston Show. Have an amazing Millionaire Monday. I'll see you tomorrow.